So, I just got back, oh, I just sat on a sandwich. I just got back from Sprint. So, I don't know if I told you, but my phone that I got 3 months ago, amid all these other problems I've been having since I got it, hi Marmalade, has been randomly going into airplane mode, which means you don't get any calls in and you don't get any calls out. And it doesn't give me any warning when it does it. I'll just look at it and suddenly it'll be in airplane mode. So, you know, it's really bad because, for one thing, I don't know how long it stays in airplane mode, so I don't know how long I haven't been getting calls and stuff. And the second bad thing is the only way I can get it out of airplane mode is to turn it all the way off and take out the battery. Which is really bad for the phones, it says, but that's the only way I can get it. Otherwise, it just goes into this loop of turning it off now, but never actually turns it off. So I went to the... Oh, and I looked it up online, and a ton of people have been having this problem too, and no one had a solution that I could find. Anyway, so I took it to the Sprint where I bought it over here at the trolley station, and they pretty much know my face there because I've been going in there at least once a week since I bought the phone because it never really works. And the guy there didn't know anything. I had to wait around like half an hour before I could even get anyone because they had a bunch of people there. And he's like, oh, we don't have the stuff to work on this. You should go to this location over here. I'm like, okay. I go over there. It turns out it's like a half-hour drive. I get there, and it's busy there too, or whatever. The guy comes, or sees me, and he says, by the way, your phone is still under warranty for a year, so after a year it'll cost $35 if you get anything like this, unless you buy insurance. And I'm like, okay, whatever. And then he says, okay, we're going to look at it, we'll reboot it and everything like that. And then all of a sudden, he says, oh wait, our policy changed on the 24th, now you do have to pay $35. So for my phone that has never worked as it's supposed to, I'm supposed to pay $35, and he said, well, if you got the insurance, then you would have been able to use that instead. It's only $7 a month. And I said, well, can I get it now? And he said, no, you have to get it within 30 days of buying your phone. And I said, when I bought my phone, they told me the only thing you can use the insurance for is if your phone freezes. If it breaks or anything like that, the insurance is no good. You still have to pay full price. And he says, no, 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 that's not accurate. So basically they didn't tell me the truth, or they whatever when I bought the phone, and they made it sound like the insurance is only good for freezing. So that's why I didn't get the insurance, because, you know, I'm like, well, what's the chances of that happening? So yeah, I had to pay $35 for them to look at the phone. He's like, oh, we'll get to it in about an hour. I'm like, okay. So I go to Target and I just walk around for an hour, and I get back, and I have to wait a while again to get someone over there. And finally I get someone, and they're like, oh yeah, we updated your PRL and your software, which are two things that I could do myself, which I did go to check to do myself, and they said that they were fully updated when I tried to do it myself on the phone. He's like, well, that's all we did. But they also wiped all my applications and everything like that. I had as much as possible backed up to the SD card, but that's only contacts. I still have to download all the apps and everything like that and install them again, which is a pain. And this, before that, remember I was on the phone. I called Samsung, because it's a Samsung moment, and, you know, I said, blah, 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 I have all those problems. He said, take it to Sprint, and they'll do all this stuff for you. Because before I paid the $35, he was like, well, your other option is to call the manufacturer, and I said I did. They told me to contact you, and he's like, oh, never mind. So, yeah, I had to pay $35 in addition to what I already paid for the phone for something that might not even fix the problem for a phone that's never worked. So, Sprint. T-Mobile, Singular, Sprint, who's next on my list of cellular companies to test out. But yeah, like I keep saying to you and to everybody else I know, I think that cell phone companies are the new used car salesmen. They're very slippery, they're very cheeky, they like to slip hidden charges in there, and they like to make it sound like your fault when they don't tell you the full truth. Let's go see if my phone actually works.
Well, if I were you,
yep,
I would telephone the Sprint helpline and ask them to give you one good reason why the next 2 calls you make should not be the California Department of Frauds and Consumer Reports.
Well, like I said, when I do try to talk to them about... I know, but when I do talk to them, they always twist it around. So, like the guy was saying when I said, oh no, they told me that the insurance was only this, he's like, well, it's your fault for not double checking it. Like, double checking with what? It's an official Sprint store. Am I supposed to go to every store and say, like, this is what they said, is that true? Okay, well, this is what they said, is that true? I mean, that's bullshit. So.
You've been screwed.
Yeah. So, and I said, if this doesn't work, do I have to pay $35 again? He said, no, just bring it right back and we'll fix it for you. You got it here. I said that. That's what they said to me today. So if I go back and they say, oh, it's going to be another $35, I'm making some calls. I'm still making some calls, although I don't really think it'll do anything because they're used to screwing people over.
Yeah, but they don't like it when the screwy bites back.
I don't think that they care as much as you think they do.
They will if enough people bite back. Nobody bites back, so they go, open season.
Yeah. Alright, so I guess if you've been screwed over by Singular, or by T-Mobile, or by Sprint, or by anybody else, you should give them a call, which I'm going to do.
Mm-hmm.
And now my cat really wants to eat food.